Hi, I'm Kushan Mitra and I'm in Mumbai today for the launch of the latest product from motorcycle brand Classic Legends. Classic Legends, a company founded by Anand Mahindra, the actor Boman Irani and entrepreneur Anupam Thareja, has brought back brands such as Jawa, Yezdi and BSA to India. And they now have 9 products in their lineup. The latest one, undercovers over there, is going to be unveiled later today afternoon. And you can see their amazing lineup of products. I'm here to interview Anupam Thareja and find out why he brought these brands back to life and how the market is for such products. So I'm here with Anupam Thareja, who runs Classic Legends, the company he set up with Boman Irani and Anand Mahindra to bring back the Jawa, Yezdi and now the BSA brands. Today they've just launched their latest Jawa 42 FJ. But I want to know from you, Anupam, how did this story begin? How did it start? You said on stage you and Anand were in touch, and from venture capital to this.
So, you can say I've been a biker since I was a kid. In good old times, before even I was 18. I don't want to encourage anything with that, but I remember my feet used to not touch the ground when I used to ride motorcycles. So once a biker, always a biker. And I don't know whether you know the backstory. In 2005, I moved to Chennai to run Royal Enfield, to turn that around with a bunch of guys. And that time Anand called me and said, "Hey, what are you up to?" And that's how this conversation started. And like everything in life, paranoia and serendipity happens. Years later, and we were friends, years later we were having lunch together, and that time his two-wheeler venture was not doing well, the Mahindra two-wheeler division.
Yeah.
And he told me, "What do you think we should do?" And I told him, "Java. That's the only thing you should do. Because as makers of SUV, that's what you should resonate with. You should make premium end bikes. And that also with a classic touch, because to my mind, that's the segment that's going to go. Because people are wanting to belong. This is an expression of yourself. These are beautiful machines from simpler times. So nostalgia is a beautiful liar, and all of us get seduced by it. And what better product of seduction than a gorgeous classic motorcycle? That's how the conversation started. Rest you heard Anand, then we met Baman, and rather than buying brand from Baman, he became a partner. He's one of the dearest fellow you'll ever come across. So a great friend, Parsi Bawa. We call it the Zen, the legacy, and the brat. That's how they internally call us.
So how did you go about getting the Jawa brand? You wanted the Jawa brand, but the Jawa brand was owned by the Czech family. So how did that happen?
I remember we were in Prague, and then we went to meet this gentleman called Mr. Gerle, who is the custodian of these brands from the family. And he looked at me and said, "Dear fellow," and through his translator, right? He doesn't speak English. Actually, he does, but he prefers to have a translator,
Okay.
right? That we've been offered truckloads of money. Why should we give it to you? That was the first. You enter and no hello, no nothing. Probably it's the way I look, but this guy can't be serious. And then we started talking more and more about it. And by that time, Baman had already come on board with Yezdi. And there was a picture of Baman's father with Mr. Yanishek in his room. And when I told this is my partner's father, he was pretty intrigued. He realized, okay, these guys are not a bunch of fools. Then we spoke about Mahindra. But I think what got him was when we laid out how we're going to make this company. He was very paranoid. Right? And he himself is a biker. He has a factory. He's been trying to make a Java forever. Right? And it's too expensive. It's too complicated. Never got the emissions. You remember emission laws were changing very quickly at that time. So he was like, "How will you do it?" Right? And the plan we laid out, I had a sketch of a bike, my first imagination of a Java in my head, which I had drawing by our first designer already. We were passionate, we were very passionate about it. And this was already the answer. I knew it has to have Java, Yezdi and BSA. Very clear from day one.
So these 3 brands were clear from day one.
Clear from day one. When do you compromise in your dreams? Why?
Fair enough.
The world is mine and my dreams, right? And if the world is your oyster in your dream, so no, we don't live in boundaries. and sometimes it happens, and what you wish for happens. I manifest them, and when you manifest, when you are in your positive spirit, sometimes things happen.
So, want to understand immediately soon after you launched the 42, COVID hit. Brand new company, relaunch of a brand, and COVID hits. How did you deal with that? I mean, obviously, it must have put everything on hold. And how do you deal with?
So that's the natural response, right? COVID hit, you're a new company, everything on hold. It was exactly the opposite.
Okay.
COVID hit, new company, let's do the next thing. Can't sell a bike, okay, let's make another one. You have another brand, let's make another bike. Oh, you have two, let's make another two. So COVID was, if you remember, sporadic. China closed, India open, Singapore closed, India closed, Italy open, Italy closed, UK open. So we had designers in Italy, we had designers in UK, we had engine in Austria, we had Ricardo, we had sculptors flying from Indonesia who were doing clay modeling for us. So wherever we were getting resources, we were at it, right? We were flying and we were doing this.
So today you have 9 products. We see them all outside. One, I mean, the BSA, the Yezdis. You said you have classics, neo-classics, and customs, which you call classic customs. Is that, I mean, you've been launching products at a very frequent rate. You just launched the BSA on Independence Day. Is this now slowing down? You're going to have even more going forward?
So, logically speaking, we should not have done what we have done. So, expect the unexpected from us.
Okay.
That's what young upstarts, misfits, crazies,
Now
stupids don't play safe.
And why do you think these are also being sent across the world? You said you sell these bikes to the Jawa brand in the Czech Republic and they resell them. You're sending the BSAs abroad. You're creating, as you said, a global company out of India. Why do you think these classics are also so popular in global markets?
So I think the fundamental human behavior remains the same. All of us are fooled and seduced by nostalgia, as I said. The most beautiful memory, even if I ask you, and I will ask you, what was the best time of your life? School, college, early years?
Okay. Late teenage years, everybody's best time, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Now go back and ask a teenager. Go back. You were being kicked around. You were insecure. You didn't know what you were going to do. Your parents were kicking your ass. You were worried about your studies. No. So the fundamental aspect is that the most beautiful place we ever go to is past. Right? Now nostalgia, as I said, is a beautiful liar. So classics don't mean old. They don't mean retro. They don't mean heritage. Classic by definition mean timeless. Okay? And that is a design cue of simpler times you bring in. And then you contemporize the classic. That's point number 1. Point number 2, we are selling in the world because that's a testimony of the quality, the fit and finish, the price performance matrix which we are able to achieve in this country. Now in India, you will find Indians are Indian, right? You know, when I was young, I used to see on things written in toilet or things written on the wall, and I used to wonder who the hell are these guys. Now they have handles. I see them on internet, right? So that's a problem. But if you take the unnecessary chatter out, what we have been able to achieve, this indomitable spirit of underdog, such a romantic position of being an underdog, right? And we need you guys to promote that, right? Otherwise, it's easy to say, yeah. And one day we'll be successful, all this will be done. And when successful means, I don't know in which, I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, we are super successful.
No, you're
Super
profitable, as
successful.
you said. You're profitable.
Forget profit. Again, your measure of success is output. My measure of success is we are able to launch 3 brands. Very popular. Everybody knows about it. Today we are trending on Twitter right now. I believe it broke on the internet. There are like some million views.
And you're selling more than what? 1 lakh motorcycles a year?
Yeah, we're talking about this next year 90,000 motorcycles, right?
Yeah.
So remember, in this category, the output is not just volume. It is what? So remember, this is 5% of the volume, 10-15% of revenue, 20-25% of profit pool in an industry which sells 20 million motorcycles.
And one thing very interesting that you mentioned, and both your CEO Ashish mentioned, is your buyers aren't, you would expect guys in the 70s and 80s who rode Yezdis and Javas.
Not at all.
But you're seeing 18, 19, 20-year-olds walk into your showrooms?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it doesn't surprise us. It doesn't surprise us at all. Because today, authentic is the most unauthentic word. Every 2 years I see a word, authentic, mindfulness, all these woo-woo words come and they vanish, right? But the fundamental thing is the same. They want to belong. Right? And today the authenticity is checked on Google. Right? So when they Google it, they say, yeah, my cool uncle had it. But that is not the only pillar on which they will convert.
No, because a very close friend of mine, his grandfather rode a Yezdi in Java, sorry. He was a policeman in the governor's convoy back in West Bengal. So he's and he wants to buy one of those. Thank you so much for your time, Anupam, and best of luck with these products. Again, what does FJ stand for in today's bag?
Shani Czech, Yani Czech, which was the original founder of Java.
All right.
And he collaborated with Mr. Wander, the German company, and that's how Java came.
Oh yeah, and a fascinating story about how it was developed during the German occupation of the Czech Republic.
Many stories.
Many stories. But thank you so much for your time again, and best of luck.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.